So it may not look like much. We're currently working on some of the wood. We're replacing the bed holders that hold the bed down there, and we're replacing all this wood. And I've done another video about some of this, but we're getting down into fasteners and everything like that. And although this may not look like much, this is a 1930 International. And I said in a previous video we have found tires for it, but my dad has opted not to buy them or purchase them yet. But this is what's surprising: the drivetrain actually is really intact and sound, and you can tell by the pumpkin down here that there's still oil in it. And my dad took a different approach with this one, in that he decided to take this old engine, this engine down here, that was in the truck when he purchased it, and it's pretty messed up. I mean, if you look at it, fan blades all jacked. But he yanked that, and he managed to find himself an engine and radiator. We have to do some modifications to it yet, but this is what's underneath the hood. Brand new 4-cylinder diesel motor on the original 6-cylinder or 6-volt system, and it runs. And he wanted to make sure he get this thing to run before we did put any money into it. So now we're into the lumber, and the lumber really is in bad shape. And I have been trying to piece it together. We've got the saws over here, and we've got pieces of wood. We've got to cut all the dados in it. We've got all kinds of intricate cuts like this. If you look at this piece over here, I mean, this is the shape that we have to deal with on this thing. This stuff is in bad shape, but we're saving it because intricate cuts like this, and on this piece here, this is going to be really interesting because it has a radius in it. You can see the radius that goes along the cab, and you can see how they cut the 2x2s into the wood. And so this is going to be a little bit of an art to get done and get apart. So that's where we stand today. We're starting from brand new lumber, and we're going to start. This will take years, but I'm going to post the video just so y'all can see it. Old 1930 International. But the goal is to get the thing going. Okay, everybody, we're replacing some of this old 1930 International. We're currently working on this member. We removed the back of the cab from the frame and the seat. This is the old wood. Let's see. I use the gimbal here. This is the old wood. It's in pretty bad shape, but it gives us something to work with. We're going to replace that one up there. with that board. We have to cut it down, get things like that motor right there to fit in there. It's all got a cutout for the motor to fit in it. So that is the plan. Dad came up with a pretty ingenious way of getting the wood out. There are fasteners that go through this piece here. And we basically took this piece right here. I'm not even looking at the right one. I'm looking at the wrong side. We basically took this piece right here and just rotated on this cab spring out. There's countersunk fasteners that come up through the bottom of it. So we bent it out and we were able to get the bolts out. So that's where we stand right now. So we're only working on this a couple hours a day, and yesterday I got this thing cut down. I had to shave this edge on here, which then threw me off 3/4 on this face here. So it's actually 3x3, not 4x4. So we're just whittling away at it slowly at a time. So we're just working in the afternoons because the temperatures are frigid at night and in the morning, and they're about 50-60 degrees in the afternoon. So we just go after it when we can. So after we get done with the boards, a rough cut like this, and we're going to sand this edge here. We're going to sand that down. The rough shape is already made for the pillar, and so tomorrow we'll get to sanding. So we've had to do quite a bit of intricate cutting and recessing things because the cab goes around the outside of this wood. We've gone back and forth with this, put it together, taking it apart, put it together, taking it apart, and at this point we're over here and we're making these cuts for, I guess in the aircraft world you'd call them stringers. I don't know what you call them in the automotive world, but these have to fit and go across the back of the cab to hold the structure together. So there's a lot of these little cuts that we had to do. I've done them all with a table saw, which is crazy, but my dad doesn't have a multi-tool and had to make one of those cuts too. So that goes forward. So I think we've got this one beam done accurately. We'll see how it goes.